Hello everybody and welcome back inside the box for another episode of Gunpla Kitbash with me, Kukamatsu. In this episode we're going to see how we can fill those gaps that we made in the foot panels last time. So let's jump right in. Right, now time to figure out how to fill those spaces. Let's put one of these guys aside. I have a selection of this plot plate stuff, and my plan is basically to put a couple of pieces in there to fill that gap. I'm hoping just two will be enough. The gap filler I use is the super glue itself, so it's not going to have to be a perfect fit because we'll be able to do gap filling. I do want to be careful not to. I either have to decide to fill these other little details because I'm going to be sanding all over this area, or I have to be really careful not to touch it. I might just fill it in. Let's see how it goes. The chopper is particularly good if you know you need a bunch of pieces that are about the same length, because they come with these stoppers that you can push up against. Let's see if that's the right length. Yeah, that's about it, so I'll make a few of those. Of course, you can just do that with a knife as well. But when you get into these thicker parts, it becomes more and more difficult to cut it with a knife and they go flying. And it's just nice to be able to have a whole bunch of pieces that are the same length. Well, I think the thing to do is just to start by gluing one right on the front there, in that main gap. I'm going to glue another one on the top, just like this. Another one on the bottom like that. Essentially what I'm trying to do here is just fill in all the spaces with the intention to trim and then sand it off, or actually I'll be filing it off to begin with and then sanding. And I just want to have enough bulk there that it fills all the spaces, but there's still going to be a gap between them, which I will fill later with the super glue. It's looking pretty good. Can do some trimming of the obvious bits here. Okay, I'm going to just let this set for a little bit. I'll do the second one, and then I'll show you the filing process for that. Okay, now we have two. Ready for the next step. Now this may seem like an absurdly large file for a tiny little part like this. And for the many years, I just had a nice little set of files. They're, you know, about that wide. And last year I discovered that this big old file makes life so much easier. First of all, it takes off a lot of material at once, so you're doing less work. But also just the size of it means that you can get a much flatter result on whatever it is you're filing than if you're twisting and turning with a tiny little file. So I'm going to start just running across the surface of this. It's not too aggressive. It's definitely still within your control. The goal is just to bring it down to the pink surface there. There's no better way to know if you're getting there than by feeling it. Seeing it does not always give you reliable results, but running your finger across it and actually running your fingernail across it is a great way to tell what isn't quite flat there. Run a bead along there, we'll run a bead along the other one as well. A little kicker. Looking pretty good. It's pretty rough still. I'm going to do another little file once that has a second to set. I think it might be okay. That is looking pretty darn good. Now I'm pretty sure there's still going to be slight little gaps to fill. That always seems to happen. But what we'll do at some point is we'll paint it gray, and we'll be able to see all of the imperfections there. And this big file is just meant to get the main job done. I have other files that I will pull out to finish that off. I use this set of sanding sticks. There's a coarse, medium fine, and extra fine. And they're great for just getting through this fairly quickly. That is pretty cool. It actually fits really nicely on there. Let's do the back one. Okay, that brings us to the end of episode 4. In the next episode, I think we're going to paint those parts gray and try and find any imperfections in the gap filling that we did. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you give me a like down below and subscribe if you want to follow along, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.